Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from our studios here at Kokumlemle in a Crown digital address GA0993341 on Joy 99.7 FM. It's also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by Telisol 4G. Just a touch. Coming up, President Akufo-Addo presents constitutional instrument to give effect to the creation of the Northeast region.
We have written some Ghanaian history. For the first time in the era of the Fourth Republic, the provisions of the Constitution of the Republic that relate to the creation of region have been invoked and successfully implemented.
We'll bring you a live update on depreciation of Ghana cedi biting hard as importers complain they are losing profits.
It is too much. It is really affecting. In fact, our profits now, we are not earning anything.
We'll bring you more as the local currency now sells at between 5 cedis and 5 cedis 20 pesos. And as Nigerians head to the polls on February 16 to elect their next president, some nationals residing in Ghana share their thoughts on the state of their home country.
If you ask, will you vote? They'll say, what are we voting for? Even if I'm in Nigeria, I will not vote.
We'll bring you an interaction with them as we count down to the crucial elections.
And coming up in sports, Premier League clubs have fired back at the Normalization Committee after being accused of deliberately sabotaging the special competition, which has since been cancelled.
And how ready are you for Joy FM's celebrity-filled Valentine's Day dinner with Kojo Nchi? We bring you the tunes of staff here at Joy News who've been rehearsing to sing along the maestro Kojo Nchi on Valentine's Day. I am Bernice Abubeidulansa. Thanks for your company. Now, the gradual depreciation of the Ghana cedi against the dollar and the pound sterling seems to be taking a heavy toll on importers. The local currency is still struggling to stabilize against the US dollar, selling at between 5 cedis and 5 cedis 20 pesos. This represents significant depreciation against the dollar over the past week. So what can be done to halt the cedi's free fall in value? There's more in the following report.
Checks, the platform used by currency dealers, showed that some were even asking for 5 cedis 32 pesos for $1 during trading yesterday. This was due to what can be described as limited dollar supply. Some of the commercial banks have even told Joy Business that cedi's problems have gotten worse because there's not enough dollars on the market to meet the demand of businesses. Most of these firms need these dollars to finance their imports, while the decision of some multinationals to repatriate their profits and pay dividend has also contributed to the situation. Some of the currency dealers have also blamed the Bank of Ghana for the current situation, arguing that things wouldn't have gotten that bad if they had been on the market. But persons close to the central bank have rejected this argument, insisting it needs to be strategic with their interventions to ensure that it does not deplete all its reserves, which is said to be more than $7 billion. However, some economists have also maintained it might be good for the Bank of Ghana to quickly step in now and not wait for things to get out of hand before they react.
Well, some traders Joy News spoke to say the fall of the cedi is heavily reducing their profits. Here's one of them, an importer of computers here in Accra.
The items I sell, none of it is being produced here in Ghana. And after you've sold, you have to change your money into dollar and then travel and go and bring the goods back. And you can't go at the end of every week, or you have to sell, make sure you have a lot of money. And by the time you say you are changing it into dollars and go and buy and then bring it back, you've lost a lot. Sometimes people buy in bulk. Somebody wants something you don't have, you have to change money and then go buy and then bring it in. I think a week back, yes, somebody requested an amount of goods, and after changing the money to go and buy, we realized we've lost like 6,000 Ghana cedis. 6,000 Ghana. So you can just imagine, it is too much. It is really affecting. In fact, our profits now, we are not earning anything. You have to pay your electricity bill, you have to pay your workers, you have to pay the rent and a lot. And in fact, it is the government needs to do. He needs to set up and do something about this dollar.
That's an importer speaking about the impact of the cedi depreciation on her business. Away from that, Chief Executive Officer of the Microfinance and Small Loans Centre, Maslock, Stephen Amoah, has revealed they've begun selling the over 350 abandoned vehicles procured under the Mahama administration in 2016. He says Maslock is seeking clearance from the Finance Minister to reduce the cost of the vehicles to encourage more sales. He spoke to Evans Mensah on PM Express on the Joy News channel.
I think the cars, in my opinion, are in very good conditions. The cars were serviced just a few months ago by the suppliers themselves. We worked on that. We know what we are doing.
So the suppliers came and serviced the vehicles?
Two, yes. Some people have started...
At your invitation?
Yes, we did that and paid for. And some have started actually even coming for the cars.
As you mentioned, some
yes.
people are buying the cars.
Sure.
They can
because the priority is that we want government to actually save money as much as possible. Okay. So if we can get people to buy even all of them at this present price, that will be our priority or my priority. Trust me, some are procuring them now, but the fact is also that it's at a very slow pace because of the prices. But the cars are really in good condition.
So you've discounted them?
For now, no.
You sell them at the same price?
Yeah, because I need approval. We are working on that. You know.
So those who are buying it, at what price are they buying it?
The same price.
You heard the Chief Executive Officer of Maslock, Stephen Amoah, speaking to my colleague Evans Mensah there. Now, security analyst Adams Bona is asking the police to, as a matter of urgency, make public details of their investigations into circumstances leading to the breakout of suspected kidnapper Samuel Udotek Wills. The police in the Western region on January 2 told Joy News they had begun investigations into how the suspect managed to escape. We waited until yesterday, February 11, for the suspect to reveal that his escape from police custody was aided by an officer of the Criminal Investigations Department, well, according to his own testimony. Today, the police's Western Region Public Relations Officer, DSP Olivia Adiku, says they are now going to set up a committee to figure out which particular CID officer aided the jailbreak. Listen.
Yeah, he made a statement yesterday, and as you are aware, he didn't mention a particular name. He said he was aided by a CID man. So the regional commander has constituted a team, and immediately they need to investigate all those at the station there. Because at now, we don't know exactly which CID personnel aided. So those who are on duty, all the CID people there are going to be questioned. So investigations have started, headed by the regional crime officer. So they are currently taking statements of all personnel. So through investigation, we'll be able to determine whether what he's saying is the truth or not. All these issues that he mentioned will come up, and the investigative team will decide if there should be an ID parade, it will be done. But for now, they've just started with the investigation. So I think it will be appropriate for us to wait and see the outcome of the investigation.
You heard the Western Region Police Public Relations Officer, DSP Olivia Adiku. Well, security analyst Adams Bona says further delay and silence of the police in this matter will reduce the confidence families and residents have in the police. He's demanding the police release their initial report.
When this whole thing started, some victims' family alleged that they suspected some police officers to be in bed with the alleged kidnapper, going to court, putting him before court, and now the bombshell that he was aided by a police officer and another person, and makes this whole thing moves to an angle that probably breaks the image of the police in terms of this kidnapping issue. Not good at all. Have been vindicated. Things coming out today probably tells everybody that the police should usually come out timely. Give us they should give us their initial report, assessment of, issues that have come out. But
you heard the security analyst Adam Spooner. Now listen to the families of these kidnapped girls as they tell us the last conversation they had with their daughters.
At one point, he waited all night at a popular junction with his mother, waiting for his sister.
Man 25 no catch him there. Yanke Gina Nkofo junction na one in the baba. See that time I'm no mommy. Ike Gina
During the holidays, and a guy in a friend.
The kidnappers called me and told me my sister was very hungry and they didn't have money to feed her. Indeed, my sister has ulcer, and so I was very worried. I told them I had only 50 Ghana cedis on me, but they said that money was not enough to feed my sister.
Ninya phone call na me bano na erefre. Ndi me fine. Yeah, hello. Abna.
I got a call from my daughter. She was crying and telling me she didn't know where she was. I immediately felt a sharp pain in my stomach. She kept begging us to help her.
Where then I could do? I said, me fruka bi. Na me yemu. The second time I'm in Ninya ho kwan kasa bi no. No say da pamocho mmebua me why. Da mmebua me.
Well, we here haven't forgotten about our tardy girls. Here's a reminder of our campaign.
For the parent is sadness. Well, mine is not. It is anger. And I expect you to be angry. The kind of anger that is required for state agencies to act swiftly. In the meantime, we're still looking for the girls. See something, say something.
Imagine waking up one morning with a dream, with a hope. Maybe you just want to live your life. And then sometime during the day, somebody just kidnaps you and all these dreams are extinguished. This is what has happened to 3 young girls in the Secondary Takoradi metropolis. Their families are agonizing, their communities are distraught, and the nation is seriously looking for them. We need your help. If you see something, say something.
Our thoughts and prayers at this moment are with the families of the victims, and we also call on the relevant state agencies to expedite action, double the effort to ensure the safe return of these girls.
Imagine the agony of losing a sister or a dear one. These are 3 mothers looking for 3 daughters. Where is the hope? Where is the ray of sunshine? We need to find our girls.
Bring back our tardy 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 girls.
So where would our tardy girls? Bring back our tardy girls.
Indeed, let's keep this campaign up and running. Hashtag Bring Back Our Tardy Girls. Join the conversation on all social media platforms. And if you have any information on the whereabouts of these girls, do well to inform the police. Now, a ceremony is underway at the seat of government where President Akufo-Addo is expected to present a constitutional instrument to legally give effect to the creation of the Northeast region. The president, through the Ministry of Regional Reorganization and Development, has carved out 6 new regions from the existing 10 regions, the newly created regions, Northeast, and the others proposed, the Savannah, the Bono East, Ahafo, Western North, and Oti regions. At the Jubilee House this morning, President Akufo-Addo has been addressing chiefs and people from the Northeast region. Listen.
A few months after my assumption of office, I received a petition from the chiefs and people of Mamprugu, led by the overlord of Mamprugu, the Nairi, Na Bohugu, Mahami Abdullahi Shariga, for the creation of a proposed Northeast region. I was told in the petition that the demand for the creation of this region dated back to 1996, some 23 years ago, with several petitions made to successive governments to no avail. Pursuant to the dictates of the Constitution of the Republic in Article 5(2)(a), I referred this petition to the Council of State for its advice on 26 June 2017. And on 15 August 2017, the Council advised that a commission of inquiry be established to determine whether or not there was a need and substantial demand for the creation of the Northeast region. Led by an eminent jurist, the retired Justice of the Supreme Court, Mr. Justice S.A. Brube, the 9-member Commission of Inquiry, over a 2-week period, interacted with chiefs and people of the proposed Northeast region and ascertained, indeed, that there was a need and substantial demand for the creation of the region. I was pleasantly struck by the several occasions in the course of those proceedings when important personalities from different political persuasions saw common ground on the need to create new regions.
President Akufo-Addo is speaking at a ceremony where he issued a constitutional instrument to give effect to the creation of the Northeast region. Later today at 3 p.m., he's expected to present the constitutional instrument for the creation of the Savannah region at the forecourt of the Jubilee House. Do stay with us for updates. You're listening to the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM with me, Bernice Abu-Baidoo-Lansah. Still to come, as Nigerians head to the polls on February 16 to elect their next president, some nationals here in Ghana share their thoughts on the state of their home country.
If you ask, will you vote? They'll say, what are we voting for? Even if I'm in Nigeria, I will not vote.
We'll bring you an interaction with them as we count down to the critical election. And how ready are you for Joy FM's celebrity-filled Valentine's Day dinner with Kojo Nchi? We bring you the tunes of staff here at Joy News who have been rehearsing to sing along with the maestro Kojo Nchi on Valentine's Day. Do stay for details. Thank you for staying here on the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM. It's now time for sports with Ridwan Asante.
Yes, a bit of confusion in Ghana football, and Premier League clubs in the country have launched a broadside at the Normalization Committee for accusing them of throwing spokes into their wheels and scuttling plans to organize a special competition which was scheduled to kickstart this weekend. But spokesperson for the 16 top-flight clubs in the country, Patrick Akoto, says the Normalization Committee has misfired.
It's absolutely hogwash. The prognosis is deficient and lack logic. We have said and maintained that we are requesting for transparency, and this is the kind of words that is being used to describe members of an association. We are greedy, we are self-centered, we are braggadocio. It is unbelievable. It is poorly written. It is a poorly crafted statement which might be thrown into the dustbin. And we are petrified and scandalized that a mother body can actually go on this tangent. It is absolutely shocking. It's unbelievable. We are asking for transparency, and this is how we are described and labeled. We have been labeled as dormant in the past. We've been bastardized as clubs. We've been crucified. We've been criticized, and we've decided to be more vibrant, more awake, and demand for what is proper, what is logical, and what is reasonable. It's unbelievable, and we are shocked.
Patrick Akoto is spokesperson for the Premier League clubs in Ghana. Just a reminder that on Saturday we have the Case Olympics, we have football coming up, taekwondo and table tennis. Register, deadline is tomorrow.
Sure, thank you very much, Ridwan Asante. Now, the general manager of mining company CNG Alaska, Donald Intua, is debunking claims that his company has leased its land to illegal miners and foreigners. According to him, the company has the permit to carry out mining activities in the area. Reports suggest illegal miners have destroyed over 10,000 2,000 acres of forest cover in various communities in the western region by setting it on fire. 13 Chinese nationals were arrested and 17 excavators seized on Saturday in the latest crackdown. But General Manager of CNG Alaska Donald Inter says the claims are untrue.
There was no foreigner on the site when these people came. And I want to emphasize that. No foreigner on the site when they came to the site and made the arrest. And you can authenticate this from the DSO police command as to where they took my boys to. I got police inquiry bill for them as at Friday night, around 10 p.m. There was no foreigner involved. So my first question is the Inter-Ministerial Committee telling me that they came to the place on Friday, arrested my local guys, and left the foreigners only to be arrested on Saturday? I want to be emphatic. The foreigners were arrested in the DSO town Saturday morning. They drove them to the site and took those pictures with the foreigners. 2, Ekorozi did say that we have the concession and we are selling the land for 50,000, which is false. It's not true. If he has any proof, he should come and prove it. CNG Alaska is a large-scale mining company with a mining lease. Again, he said we have prospecting license. He should check his facts right before he talks. We have a mining lease which expires in 2026. You can check this from the Minerals Commission and the ministry. Again, I can see they said the place is they've set the place on fire and whatever. The task force team was on the premises of the concession Friday. They stayed there, left there, I think after early hours of Saturday. Whilst they were there, they gathered some wood and lit it up, sort of a bonfire, where they were sitting around the whole of Friday night. And I'm very sure they didn't put it off and left the place, and they came to meet smoke, captured it, and just to give the dog a bad name to hang it. We are a responsible company for that matter. We know our rules of engagement, and we are not doing anything illegal.
You heard that Donald Inter, he's general manager of mining company CNG Alaska. Now, Joint News investigations have revealed the continuous illegal cutting of rosewood in the Tumu Forest Reserve in the Upper West region, despite a government ban. Following fears the expensive species could go extinct, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources banned rosewood harvesting 5 years ago. But the ban has been flouted across the country and even caused the death of 2 persons in Wa West over the weekend. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo has more.
Rosewood is a kind of a durable species of tree that they use to make expensive items. The interior design of ships, the luxurious ones, very expensive ships, the interior design of planes, we are told we use it to make the gun bat because it is very durable. The most expensive bed made in the world is made out of rosewood species.
As we speak, if you went to China now, people keep rosewood in bank safes, hoping that the price will get even higher, so they then sell or use to produce their instrument.
The overharvesting of rosewood has made it an endangered species now. In 2013, former Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Inus Afuseni, announced government's decision to ban the harvesting and export of rosewood.
Effective 1st January 2014, the harvesting and export of rosewood from this country is banned until further notice.
Lands and Natural Resources Minister Kweku Asomacheme says the ban is still in force.
Rosewood, indeed, there is a ban on harvesting. Because of the ban, nobody can go to the forest or the ground to harvest any rosewood.
But Joint News checks across the country shows the harvesting of rosewood is still happening, even in some of the most protective areas of the country, like forest reserves. I've come to the Tumu Forest in the Sisala East District of the Upper West region, and guess what I found? Freshly cut rosewood. This cutting was done less than a week ago, and the indication again is that heavy machinery was brought in to do the cutting. So you can see the ties of the heavy vehicles, they've drawn all over the ground, an indication that again this is something that happened recently. But more importantly, you can see the leaves of this harvested rosewood. They are green, the indication that it's not something that was cut down a long time ago. At least not as early as before the renewed ban came into force in the year 2017. This is actually a forest reserve where not even farmers are allowed to come and undertake the activities. So the question remains, why are the rosewood harvesters being allowed to have their way? There are hundreds of such cut down trees right here in what is supposed to be a forest reserve. The residents are worried.
These trees have been cut down by these illegal loggers. As you could see, the first ones we saw, they were fresh, less than a week.
Joseph Opoku-Gakpo with that report. Let's bring you some international news now. 84 million Nigerians will head to the polls on Saturday to elect the next president of Africa's most populous country. John News' Kenneth Awoche-Darko has been interacting with some Nigerian youth residing in Ghana on their thoughts on the state of their home country going into the February 16 polls.
The truth is that I think we, the people, allowed it. If we could vote for the party like the A and the Action Congress, the Dr. Nkrumah, the Fela Duture, donate funds for them to create that more platform for them to run a better election compared to just giving to people that have the power, the PDP and the APC, that have governed our great nation for over 20 years, and they have nothing, literally nothing to show for it.
You think he has done enough in terms of tackling the insurgency from Boko Haram and others?
This election, to me, people are afraid. I'm from the eastern part. If you ask, will you vote? They'll say, what are we voting for?
Looking at the state of the country generally, you feel okay anytime you go back to Nigeria?
I don't. That's the truth. I don't really feel secure. The question in context is, how many police do we have? How many mobile police do we have? How many operatives are in the police force? How equipped are they to govern the people? If you are creating policies that is working for the people, you are creating schools, you are creating good roads, who wants to arm you in the streets?
It's only in Nigeria. Africa is Africa. I'm telling you. Okay, in Ghana, how many political parties do you have in Ghana? It's plenty as well. But how many do you know? 2, NDC and NPP.
I'll come to Emmanuel. Now, looking at all that John has been talking about, does it make you more interested? What exactly do you feel about it? Are you ready for it? Will you go and vote?
For me, like I said before, even if I'm in Nigeria, I will not vote. Because both the Buhari and the Atiku, believe me, they are all the same.
Stay with John News as we build up to Saturday's polls in Nigeria. Now, everyone yearns for love and acceptance, so sometimes dealing with a broken heart after a partner had promised to love you forever could be crushing. That's the story of Robert Mensah, whose girlfriend he hoped to marry jilted him because of his diminutive structure. Robert says his heart is in tatters after the girl's relatives conspired to tender his proposal to settle with her. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin has more on the heartbreak suffered by Robert, the little man.
I want a simple love money cannot buy.
2 years ago, Robert Mensah was full of life. He had found love and was ready to settle down. That story has changed.
Because of the girls, that girl family, they not accept it. That's why I just forget that one.
He's now ready to pick up the pieces and forge forward. The gnawing pain of rejection in his heart had convinced him never to commit to one woman.
Don't take one girlfriend, take 2 or 3. Maybe your first girlfriend just disappoint you, second one just disappoint you, the third one they know. Yeah, everybody just take note about that.
Well, heartbreak is a terrible experience, but you definitely wouldn't be experiencing that at the Love Ride concert with Kojo Ntwi this Thursday at the Kempinski Hotel. I'm sure you've bought your tickets and found that perfect touch of red attire and ready for that big Valentine's Day celebration. What you perhaps want to be doing now is perfecting your tunes to sing along with Maestro Kojo Ntwi at the Kempinski Hotel. Some staff here at John News have been doing just that. Listen.
Yeah, made of power, yum never. My sorry, I know pa mil famio. Oto afimano, mina. Sema bemwa, osirichu. Made of power, yum never. Yeah, made of power, yum never. My sorry, I know pa.
Interesting, isn't it? Well, tickets are available. Just head to the front desk of Joy FM, or if you want to reserve tickets, do well to call 0544 33651 0544 33651 and come with a loved one and make this Valentine's Day an unforgettable experience. But that's how we end this edition of the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am Bernice Abubedu-Lansa. We end with a song from the maestro Kojo Inchi.